Let's see here. I think I got some. Okay, yeah, I do have some audio. All right, cool, cool, cool. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Space and Technology episode 607. Give you guys all just a few minutes to filter on in. We're doing a little midday space and tech live stream. Like I said, we're getting these things back up and going here. So we got a couple things we're going to cover here. Some late year science and tech developments. I'm not sure if those are aware that there's already been a 6G satellite that's been launched. So we'll cover that article and we'll cover a few other things. The docket is there in the description. So yeah, I'll give you guys just a few minutes to filter on in. Let's see here. Give me a second. All right, there we go. Yeah, that'll work right there. Okay. So yeah, I'll go ahead. I'll put the link in here, and then I'm gonna pull up the article, and we're gonna get started. Oh, you know what? Hold on one second. Let me pull it up on my laptop here as well. All right, there we go. Let's see here. And let me go back over here. Let's see, and let's see if we can get this screen going. Oh, let me switch the tab on this here. Let's see here. Bear with me. I'm still getting the tech stuff rolled out on this, man. Let's see. Here we go. All right. Now I think you guys can see it. Let me just make sure I can see it on my other screen. Like I said, I'm still sorting still sorting this streaming stuff and scheduling in it, and then getting this app to work with this app, and then doing it. And I'm getting there, folks. I'm getting there. So let me just make sure that we've got the other. There we go. Oh wait, you know what? Let me do it like this because it looks a little bit better if I do it this way. Oh wait, no, not that way. That way. And then I forgot to get this right here. Hmm. I'm not sure why that is like that, but okay. And let me see if this link is good. Nope, that's not it. All right. Here, let me do it like this. Boom, there we go. And then we'll do that right there. All right, there we go. Man, I'm getting it together, folks. I'm getting it together here. So there's a link there if anybody wants to come on and join the conversation. But we're going to go ahead and get started with this first article here. Now, this is from Popular Mechanics, and again, the docket is also in the description of the video as well. Uh, so, China has launched world's first 6G satellite. We don't even know what 6G is yet. This could be huge. It could also be nothing. Hold on one second here. Wait. Uh, there we go. All right. On November 6, China successfully launched a Long March 6 rocket and sent a payload of 13 satellites into orbit. Among them was what has been described as the world's first 6G satellite, according to BBC. The problem? The rest of the world is still several years away from agreeing to what 6G will even be. That's a point we're going to touch on in a bit. 5G, what is considered the fifth and most recent generation of cellular broadband networks, is still in its infancy. True 5G networks operate at millimeter wave frequencies between 30 and 300 gigahertz, which are 10 to 100 times higher frequency than previous 4G networks. The definition of these cellular generations are defined by a global partnership known as 3GPP, which has yet to clearly define what 6G is. And what these G designations essentially just mean is generation. That's all that means is generation. So you had 1G, first generation, second generation, third generation. You had 4G, now we're in 5G. However, we now have what's being suggested here, that a satellite that, according, I guess, if we were to go by the Chinese estimation, they've already went ahead and determined what 6G is going to be, right? And so they went ahead and launched a satellite. So I guess they're going to test this stuff out. However, 3GPP has yet to even clearly define what that is. So interesting schism there. Given the history of never-ending march to technology, it's inevitable that 5G will be replaced by a new network in the future. It just isn't clear what 6G will be. The satellite, known as Tianyan 5, is a remote sensing satellite jointly developed by the University of Electronic Science and Technology of China, Chengdu Aerospace Technology, and Beijing Weina Zhenkong Technology. In addition to Earth observations, the satellite will test a high-frequency terahertz communication payload that could send data at speeds several times faster than 5G. Huh. Huh. Okay. Several times faster than 5G. As cellular networks become increasingly congested and the demand for faster speeds and lower latency continues to grow, cellular providers are looking at higher bandwidths for the next generation of cellular technology. Terahertz waves, which are submillimeter waves sitting between microwave and infrared light on the electromagnetic spectrum, have been used to achieve data rates higher than 100 gigabits per second. Unfortunately, terahertz waves share an Achilles heel with the millimeter waves used in 5G. So essentially, what that means is they're short. They're short, so that you would have to use a lot of technology, or I'm sorry, not a lot of technology, a lot of equipment, basically hubs and switches and stuff, to get the signals, like to create a mesh, right? It's basically the same thing that they're doing with 5G right now, essentially. Water vapor in Earth's atmosphere is a strong absorber of terahertz radiation, limiting the range of terahertz applications. Same issue continues to slow the widespread development of 5G and will likely hinder the rollout of 6G if it uses terahertz waves. The new technology may also stoke similar fears faced by the rollout of 5G. The raising of 5G towers in cities caused conspiracy theories to flourish. Without any evidence, people have falsely linked COVID-19 pandemic to 5G, which may have motivated residents of the UK to burn down nearly 80 cell phone towers in recent months. Wow, okay. Meanwhile, astronomers threatened to sue SpaceX for its Starlink constellation of communication satellites for jeopardizing the future of ground-based astronomical observations. Interesting. Because I don't know if you guys know this, every time SpaceX does a Starlink launch, they throw like 60 satellites up in the air. We killed Dragon. Salute, brother. Yeah, they throw about 60 satellites up in there at a time. And I think they've done 3 launches so far. There's already a guy on YouTube who's doing like the off-grid YouTube thing. And he's got Starlink internet. So he's using, this dude like lives like literally just out in the sticks, and he's got like high-speed internet through Starlink. A blanket of communication satellites orbiting Earth has the potential to blind observatories looking at certain wavelengths of light. I guess this is a image of what they're talking about. You see all these streaks right here? Okay. These are all the trajectory paths of all of these satellites that are in the air. So when you're taking like well, I forgot what this type of photo is called. It's called a long exposure or something like that. Okay. When you take a long exposure, what it catches literally in that long exposure, that's the satellite crossing the path of the camera. And so just imagine if you just have a bunch of satellites up here, you'll just have a bunch of lines. Interesting. Tianyan 5 launched aboard the Chinese-built rocket with Earth-observing satellites from the Argentinian company Satellogic. In a sun-synchronous orbit, the satellites will provide high-resolution images covering 1.5 million square miles a day with high enough resolution to discern individual trees in a forest. Okay, that's super scary. Think about the implications of that. Wow. The satellite could help stop illegal logging in forests and manage crop disasters. Right. Okay. Sure. I was thinking, identifying somebody like walking on the street from a satellite up in space, but let me take my tinfoil hat off. Time will tell whether TN5 will be the next G for cell phones. And so there you have it. So if you're a sky watcher, depending on where you're pointing your high-powered telescope, you're probably going to start seeing this type of stuff right here. All righty. So let's take a looky-loo. Going on, salute. Yo, what's going on, you guys? We're just chopping it up on some articles here. Giving you guys some space and tech information. Let's see here. There we go. All right. And let me just make sure you guys can see this here, as you should. Hold on, I'm just looking at the other screen here. Mike Rizzi, peace, brother. How come it's not showing up on the screen? Oh, wait, there it goes. All right. Dang, there's a bit of a delay here. All right, because I'm looking at, I have it playing on another device as well, just making sure that everything is cool. But there's just a delay. Okay, that's all it is. Hey, real quick. Well, I'll wait till some more people get into the chat, and then I'm going to ask a question, and then I'm going to have everybody press 1 if they want it, and then press 2 if they don't. But I'll wait. Okay. So this one is from spacenews.com. Space Force will be candid with industry about tech needs. The private sector is making large investments in technologies the government needs, and the military has a role to play in bolstering commercial space innovators. U.S. Space Force sees a huge opportunity to buy commercially developed technologies and services, said General John Raymond, Chief of Space Operations. Speaking December 1st at a U.S. Chamber of Commerce space conference, Raymond said the private sector is making large investments in technologies the government needs, and the military has a role to play in bolstering commercial space innovators. We do not want industry to have to spend 1 minute or $1 trying to figure out what's in our head, Raymond said. We want to be very transparent. We view the partnership with industry to be hugely significant. Air Force Secretary Barbara Barrett also spoke at the virtual event. Moderator Chuck Wald, a retired Air Force general, asked Barrett and Raymond to comment on the prevailing sentiment in the industry that there seems to be a risk averse policy that keeps the military from procuring space based services from commercial vendors. Now, these next few paragraphs, I really want you guys to pay attention to this. It really does back up a lot of what it is that we've been saying here for a long time on this channel. Barrett pushed back. We're going to do a lot to engage with the commercial world, she said. We are still working with our traditional companies, but also leveraging non traditional commercial providers, she said. Barrett mentioned efforts the Air Force launched in recent years to help recruit small businesses and startups, such as pitch day events and mentoring programs. So and you got to understand, this is a whole entirely new sector of the military when we're talking about like Space Force. So I'm gonna kind of support that notion right there with the next few articles. I want you guys to really kind of get a feel for what this article is kind of suggesting, right? Because just yesterday we were talking about 2021 and what we see taking place, from that year onward, because that means that we're officially into the second, wait, the third 20, third decade, okay, of this century, and it's going to be a brave new world from this point going forward. So the next couple articles are going to suggest what Space Force may be looking for. Let's just do it like that. We're gonna preface the next couple articles. So we're gonna finish this one up, and then we'll dig in a little bit more. Wald's line of questions. Oh, by the way, is the music too loud or too low? I'm trying to get it just right. Is it too loud or too low? Just right? Can you hear it? Can you hear me? I don't see any comments. Okay. All right. I assume. Yeah, you don't even hear anything. No music needed. Okay. Okay. Well then, cool. I'll just keep it playing in my head. Usually, I gotta listen to stuff when I'm being brainy. So that's just kind of like my own little thing. All right. I think it's because the tab is. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. All right. Wald's line of questions echoed the findings of a recent study by the Aerospace Corp that noted commercial companies in the space industry are now offering sophisticated services that previously only governments could provide. However, many U.S. defense and intelligence agencies are still not seriously considering using these services as alternatives to traditional government programs. Raymond said in years past, the only commercially viable services have been space launch and communications provided by geosynchronous satellites. So that's basically like with SpaceX and Blue Origin, and they just basically will just take stuff up to the space station or launch satellites. That's pretty much what it's been at this point. But the Space Force is now becoming aware of other capabilities that are being offered commercially, such as space tracking data, weather data, and on-board satellite servicing. Now, you have to go back to some of the old live streams where we talked about development of cube satellites, which are just small satellites that would just essentially be used for data collection and stuff like that. This was like a year and a half ago. And now, like I said, we find ourselves coming in 2021, and now there's an entire Space Force saying, yo, you guys got like anything that can track space data and weather data and onboard satellite servicing? What the heck is that? Is that like being able to go up and and the ability to go up and service a satellite on board? Like, what does that even mean? Speaking on a different panel at the U.S. Chamber event, Hawkeye 360 CEO John Serafini said there is a philosophical divide between long-established military procurement practices and private industry. Hawkeye 360 operates a constellation of remote sensing satellites that track radio signals and turns the data into images to help locate ships at sea. The government has embraced a traditional form of acquisition focused on solving specific requirements at specific fixed points in time, said Serafini. We want the U.S. government to think more creatively towards a hybrid architecture with national systems, but also commercial capabilities. Boom. The Space Force is saying, what you got? Only people with headphones will hear it. No, you know what it is, man? I'm not sharing it right now. So don't worry about it. And then I guess somebody said, don't play music. So, okay. It's playing in my headphones. I can hear it, but I don't have the audio on that tab shared. That's why it's not doing it. But no worries. If you guys don't want to hear it, don't worry about it. But I can hear it, so it helps me read. Okay, let me get this one together here. Wait. All right, let's see here. Okay. This one is from, oh, wait, space.com. All right. SpaceX. Well, this was from Saturday. SpaceX did a launch on Saturday, I think it was. Wait, hold on. Or yesterday? It was this weekend. SpaceX did a launch, Dragon cargo, to the ISS. This was the launch right here. Well, that's a commercial. But just from the article here, SpaceX will launch a Dragon spacecraft packed with NASA cargo to the International Space Station today in its first uncrewed mission with its upgraded spacecraft. Previously flown SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket will take to the skies here at NASA's Space Kennedy Center. Two-stage launcher will blast off from Pad 39, lofting a robotic Dragon cargo capsule carrying more than 6,400 pounds of payload, which would include fresh supplies, experiment hardware, and other gear for the astronauts aboard the orbiting lab. And they were just kind of covering here that the launch was actually scheduled for December 5th originally. But this was a SpaceX launch over the weekend. And so, again, I just kind of posting this to kind of contextualize the previous article here about what we've been really trying to plant the seed that we've been trying to plant in your ears this whole time about space as like a crucial part of like this fourth industrial paradigm. Okay. Because again, you have now an entire sector of the military that's now saying, look, what do you guys have for space? You know what I mean? So that could mean any and everything, right? That would mean any and everything. Heck, it could even oh wait. Here we go, right here. Could even link into what the next article is about. From Interesting Engineering. Asteroid mining to shape the future of our wealth. Now, you guys, I know that was a controversial topic back in 2019 when we threw it out there. We started throwing it out there. I know, but again, what did the general of the Space Force just say in that article we just covered? Okay. What is Elon Musk doing with SpaceX? The previous article I just put out there. He's already doing work for them going up to space. What are the Chinese doing? They just launched a 6G satellite. Everybody's like, dude, wait a minute. We don't even have 5G rolled out completely. What does 6G even do? The Chinese are like, don't worry about it. And then again, you have like the general of the Space Force, like, dude, what do you guys got? I'm just trying to contextualize everything here. Asteroid mining to shape the future of our wealth. What will it take to make asteroid mining a reality, and what lies in the future? It has been said that the world's first trillionaires will be ones who make their fortune in mining, asteroid mining. Over the years, this eventuality has been predicted by people like famed futurist Peter Diamandis, astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson, one of um, one of the dudes that man, I'd love to have just like a conversation with that dude. And financial firm Goldman Sachs. Okay, so let's stop right there. So Goldman Sachs thinks something about this. Let that one marinate. While the concept has been the stuff of science fiction for decades, it's only in the past few years that it's come to be viewed as a serious possibility. This has led to the creation of asteroid mining firms and the passage of legislation that recognizes the right of companies to prospect, claim, and extract space based resources. Okay, stop right there. Again, Goldman Sachs has eyes on this. Legislation has been passed that recognizes a company's right to do this. What do you? Is there anyone out there who wants to argue this still? There are people out there that was saying that Mike V was crazy. The brain trust is crazy. Lionel is crazy. Nagone was crazy. Engineering cannabis is crazy. Jay Charles is crazy. Johnny Blaze is crazy. Renaissance Man is crazy. Paul Bryant's crazy. Everybody's crazy. Okay. With multiple companies now emerging for the express purpose of multiple companies now emerging for the express purpose of asteroid prospecting, exploration, and mining, it is clear that the idea is moving from the realm of science fiction into the world of science fact. But what are the odds it will create a viable what are the odds anyone will create a viable asteroid mining business? When might this become a regular part of our economy? Most important of all, is this something that we can or even should be doing? Well, I don't know. They're talking about the first trillionaires are going to be made doing it. So you tell me. In order to answer that question, a little refresher on the history of solar systems seems in order. Roughly 6.4 billion years ago, our sun formed from a nebula of gas and dust and experienced gravitational collapse at the center. According to one common model, having consumed most of the material from the solar nebula, the rest of the gas and dust formed into a large flat disk around the sun's equator, a circumsolar accretion disk. Over the next few eons, this disk gradually condensed in place to form the planets. Asteroids, according to our current astronomical models, are the material left over from the formation of the said solar system. In this respect, asteroids and planets like Earth formed from the same starting materials. On Earth, gravity pulled most of those heavier elements like iron and nickel into the core during the Achaean Econ, or the Achaean Eon, roughly 3.5 billion years ago. This process left the crust depleted of much of its heavy metals and heavier elements. One model hypothesizes during the heavy bombardment period around 4.1 to 3.8 billion years ago, a disproportionately high amount of asteroids collided with terrestrial planets Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. These impacts would have then reinfused the depleted crust with metals like iron, nickel, gold, cobalt, manganese, molybdenum, osmium, palladium, platinum, rhenium, rhodium, ruthenium, and tungsten. Okay, those are all soft metals. Believe that those are soft metals. Other researchers hypothesis that the bombardment was constant over a longer period of time. So why mine asteroids? Well, the argument in favor of asteroid mining is simple. Within the solar system, there are countless bodies that could contain a wealth of minerals, ores, and volatile elements that are essential to the Earth's economy. Asteroids, as we saw above, are believed to be the material left over from the formation of the solar system. As such, many asteroids are thought to have compositions that are very similar to that of Earth and other rocky planets. All told, there are thought to be more than 150 million asteroids in the inner solar system alone. And that's only the ones that measure 100 meters or more in diameter. So wait, that's only like what 330 feet, 100 meters, 100 meters. That is, I'm trying to think. That's so okay. So it's like 10-yard depth. Or no, that's a yard. I'm trying to think. Okay, 330 feet. That's not that big. That's, I guess, starting with the ones that, yeah. These can be divided into three main groups: E-type, S-type, and M-type, which correspond to asteroids composed, respectively, largely of clay and silicates and iron, nickel, and metals. About 75% fall into the category of C-type. S-types account for 17%, while M-type and others make up the remainder. These latter two groups are thought to contain abundant minerals, including gold, platinum, cobalt, zinc, tin, lead. Oh, these got hard metals too. Lead, indium, silver, copper, iron, and various rare earth metals. Okay, that's stuff like uranium. For millennia, these metals have been mined from the Earth's crust and have been essential to economic and technological progress. Of course, you need stuff to put in, like, cell phones and stuff. In addition, there are thought to be many asteroids and comets that contain water and ice and other volatiles, ammonia, ammonium, methane, etc. Water ice could be harvested to satisfy a growing demand for fresh water on Earth. For everything from drinking water to irrigation and sanitation. Now, that would be, I mean, damn, bringing water from. Okay, I just had a thought, and I don't want to. Okay. Volatile materials could also be used as a source of chemical propellant like hydrazine. Now, this is what we were hypothesizing and theorizing back when we were talking about space mining. One thing you could do is so you would use so you send up something that actually lands onto the asteroid, right? And then it uses it as a way station. So it actually starts mining, and then it takes the stuff from there and then builds like a way station, so a connecting point. So it takes resources from that and then like maybe converts into some sort of like it converts it into energy and then stores it or makes it available. So then like you have an asteroid you can stop on and fuel up, like shit like that. Thus facilitating further exploration and mining ventures. See, in fact, planetary resources indicates that there are roughly 2.2 trillion tons of ice water in the solar system. What the fuck? 2.2 trillion US tons. Of course, this raises the obvious question: wouldn't it be really expensive to do all this mining? Why not simply continue to rely on Earth for resources for precious metals and resources and simply learn to use them better? Like I was telling you, what you do is you get up there and then you start mining, you do shit, and you use that as a way station to go elsewhere. Then you have like connecting points for like refueling and shit, drop off points, and that's how you start creating like a galactic network. To put it simply, we are running out of resources. To be clear, learning to use our resources better and more sustainably is always the most important idea. And while it is certainly true that Earth-based mining is far cheaper than going to space would be, that may not be the case indefinitely. Aside from the fact that off-world minerals and ices would be of considerable value. Yeah, think about it, dude. You could sell like a bottle of space water for like $1,000 or something. Considerable value of Earth's economy. There's also the way that growing consumption is leading our reserves to become slowly exhausted. In fact, according to some estimates, it's possible that our planet will likely run out of elements that are needed for modern industry and food production within the next 50, 60 years. This alone is a pretty good incentive to try to tap the seemingly inexhaustible supplies of elements located off-world. I don't know. I don't know. I see a different thing going on here, right? Because think about it. There's never really ever been a time, right, where things have not existed, or where what happens is that nature has operates in a cyclic nature, so it finds ways to balance itself out and replenish itself. So that's why I'm like, no, this is purely a commercial exploit right here. That's why I'm thinking of like way stations and galactic like transportation networks and shit like that. Plus, there are a lot of benefits to expanding humanity's resource base beyond Earth. Oh, wait a minute. Was it maybe this is what I was hinting towards? Let's see. Plus, there are a lot of benefits to expanding humanity's resource base beyond Earth. Here on Earth, mining takes a considerable toll on the natural environment. In fact, depending on the methods used, it can result in erosion, sinkholes, habitat destruction, and destruction of native animal and plant life. Right. That's more to see. It has more to do with destruction and creating an ecosystem that would then respond in a way that then would make this a non-suitable pursuit. It's not as if the resources aren't there. It's just that you're going to keep basically destroying the earth to just grab it to the point where the only thing that can happen is something catastrophic happens to create the replenishment period. So it's the whole life death cycle. It's just humans can't seem to get it together, man. Their consumption overrides their logic. That's the problem. There's also the dangers of toxic runoff and contamination of soil, groundwater. We know all that stuff. Let's see here. Combined with the power generation, these industrial processes are some of the leading contributors to. Okay, so this is a pretty long read, but the link is in the docket there in the description, and this is just a more recent article that was published on this. This is just from a few weeks ago. That this is what I like about it is that if we go back about a year and a half or so, when we were putting this type of information out there, like there was just a lot of uninformed opinions that really just kind of got tossed our way. But this is recent. This is a recent article right here, and the same notions are being suggested, and names like Goldman Sachs and Neil deGrasse Tyson are in this and seeing this as a reality. Okay, I was reading the thing there, so I need to check the chat. Hold on. Okay, let's see here. So we have Bluetooth speaker and music people with headphones, right? Mining the moon. I wonder what we'll do to see that. I would say that there's something else going on with the moon. I don't think there's any mining going on with the moon. China just tagged the moon with their flag. Yeah, they did. I imagine wars can be fought over asteroids, especially things like lithium. See, Mike Rizzi, that's the reason why. That's the reason why a lot of treaties have been ripped up. That's the reason why a lot of treaties have been ripped up, and why they're talking about satellites being armed, right? Because how do you protect your galactic assets? You protect them with space vehicles and things like directed energy weapons shot from satellites. That's why sometimes when you read these articles, you have to really be able to like see the public relations side of it from the technical application side of it. Why would someone put trillions of dollars? Why would they say that the first trillionaires are going to be made by doing that? Why? Because it's not a simple pursuit. So when somebody's going to put a whole lot of money up to do something, guess what they're going to do? They're also going to spend a lot of money to protect it. What is the easiest way to protect something that's floating in space? something else floating in space with a weapon on it. Let's see here. Yeah, wars fought over asteroids, especially things like lithium. Exactly, Mike. Dude, it's like, look, sometimes you have to, when you're looking at like these global, these trade wars and stuff like that, when they talk about, ripping up all these treaties, sometimes embedded deep within those treaties have things to do with like what it is that we're agreeing to not. Okay, we'll agree to put these things on satellites. We'll just agree to not have these satellites do specific things to you, stuff like that. But then even when you start ripping that up, that means that you have objectives that go above and beyond what that treaty would protect. So you got to rip it up all together. And then once you start like really rolling out what your intentions are, then that's when you come back to the negotiating table. Like, yeah, so check this out. We got a 6G satellite, right? So we know what you're going to do like 3 seconds before you do it. Like, that's how fast our technology is. And then you're like, damn, okay. So they're like, let's talk about it. No, I'm not suggesting, well, I'm not suggesting anything. I'm just saying I'm covering these articles for a reason, because this whole space race is very real. We've been talking about this a lot on this channel, man. So um, we're just getting up to speed, if you will, on a lot of things. Now we're going to switch it up just a bit. Give me just a second here. All right, let's see. Okay, so this is from sciencemag.org. Not now. From sciencemag.org. The mysterious $2 billion biotech is revealing the secrets behind its new drugs and vaccines. You guys heard of a company called Moderna? Okay. There's been a lot of like express FDA approvals on these vaccines, and Moderna is a one company that's gotten approval for this, from my understanding. And I have to shout out, big, huge shout out to who we've always referred to as the First Lady of the Black Brain Trust, Nicole Ali, who is a PhD, I believe, who works in the realm of CRISPR. And she does a ton of content on this. Okay. So Moderna, what Moderna actually is a tech company. Okay. So just understand, they have a vaccine that received approval, but this is from understand this is from a tech company. Okay. So this is why I just want to cover this, because this is a tech company. Let's just make sure we understand this. Moderna is a tech firm. Okay. In the recent, what's this update here? Moderna announced today that its experimental mRNA vaccine for COVID-19 achieved 94.5% protective efficacy in an interim analysis of a 30,000 person trial in 2017. Science visited Moderna to get a look back at its core technology and its broad ambitions. Wait, oh, there we go. In a recent morning meeting, the scientific leaders at Moderna Therapeutics conversation swerved toward the philosophical. Biochemist Melissa Moore recently hired head RNA research at the Boston area biotech. Had something on her mind: hype. Specifically, she was thinking about Garner's hype cell, a glib model cooked up by an IT research firm, in which every new technology ascends a peak peak of inflated expectations, sinks into a trough of disillusionment, then climbs the slope of enlightenment to reach the plateau of productivity. Where on this curve, she wondered to Moderna's president Stephen Hoge, was their technology? The question is apt. Moderna was founded on the idea that messenger RNA, or mRNA, the molecule that relays genetic information instructions from DNA to the cell's protein-making machinery, could be re-engineered into a versatile set of drugs and vaccines. These strands These strands of instructions could teach ourselves to make whatever was needed to treat or prevent disease. virus slaying antibodies, waste gobbling enzymes, heart mending growth factors. The willingness of pharmaceutical giants and investors to bet on the premise to the tune of nearly $2 billion has unleashed a wave of both hype and skepticism. Moderna has shared little detail in published papers about the technology it's developing, though there are clues in its abundant patent filings. Until recently, even the targets of drugs already in clinical trials weren't publicized. But as more trials get underway, Moderna is gingerly opening up. The company agreed to Science's request for access to some of its researchers and labs over the past few months. And last month at the annual JP Morgan Healthcare Conference in San Francisco, CEO Stefan Bancel unveiled Moderna's first round of drug candidates, which include vaccines for Zika, flu, and a therapy for heart failure. High expectations are up, being a startup valued at more than $1 billion, an anomaly that venture capitalists dub a unicorn, comes with scrutiny, and many wonder whether Moderna's pipeline, consisting mostly of vaccines for now, will expand to match the company's original vision of mRNA as a broad treatment platform. There are a lot of really big promises made, says Jason Schrum, a biotechnology consultant in San Francisco and former Moderna employee. That's what people latched onto. They want the promises to be true, and they want to see the investment really turn into something meaningful. So it's a pretty long read. And again, the link is in the chat there. But I hope you kind of just maybe just kind of got a feel for what I was trying to maybe just, throw out here about the company that right here, from what we know so far, 94% protective efficacy. Very, very, very interesting stuff here. Let me check the chat here. I've been kind of lagging and slow on that. Yeah, Johnny Blaze, way stations will be crucial for, yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm looking at. Dude, it's like screw it. I don't get, screw it. So what about, like, think about it like this. What you do, and this was something that Mike and I, we had talked about this, man. We were tossing this idea back. So what you do is you actually you use an asteroid for maybe just like small vehicle deployment, right? So it's like you can send up uh like small scale rockets essentially, right? So you're going to be doing this stuff for like small scale vehicles and stuff. Like I talked about this dude, Joe Bernard. He has a channel on YouTube where he makes small scale rockets that like self land and everything. He built all like the control mechanisms, the computer systems, the control modules. I mean, he built the boards. He did everything. So like this stuff is like literally all at our fingertips right about now, and it's really just kind of like imagination, experimentation, and then implementation. That's really what it all boils down to. But yeah, Moderna, man, that's interesting, man. Oh, raise your hand if you're gonna get that stuff injected in you. Let's see here. Once we get manufacturing down in space, asteroids be used as create stations in space. Man, Vernon, that's it. That's what I mean, dude. Like those are gonna be like purpose built, like galactic manufacturing plants, complete with all of the resources already on it. All you're gonna do is like I said, you're gonna send stuff up to it, and that stuff it'll automate and it'll self build. Like it'll have one rover that, because they're already doing this. They send a rover out. Okay, so they send the rover out, and the rover has a spectrometer on it, so it's analyzing everything. What is this? Is that water? Okay, there's water right there. And what's this over here? This is clay over here. That's clay right there. Okay, we can build right there. There's water right there, and it goes around and roves, and then it charts out how to build the stuff out. That's what they do with the lunar rover or the Mars rover. What's it called? Sojourner or whichever one it was. That's exactly what it did. And so since NASA's already shown that you can do it, a whole bunch of companies have like stuff on the table that roll that stuff out. I look, the EV platform that I was doing the electric vehicle project on, there was one firm that took the same they took the same design 3D files, but what they did was they turned that into a lunar rover. They took a basic EV platform and said they're like, because of the low center of gravity, batteries, electric power, they're like, we could just turn this into a lunar rover. I never thought of such a thing. I was like, damn. Oh, now there's a thought. Should I buy some Gilead? You know what, man? One thing we don't do here is give out financial advice, man. So I don't know. I would say this, man. Do some research on it. Maybe on the economics live stream, we can pull them up. We can do a little bit of reading into that company, get a little more information about it, and then we can have like a we can like be smart about the conversation and make smart determination as to, if it's a smart purchase for you or not based on your interest. But we don't just outright say, yeah, buy it. I'd never tell you to do that. It's often about alchemy being quite possible. However, power required is insane. Well, yeah, well, what you're talking about is just essentially, setting up like, um, you know, material and chemical processing plants that can basically take the raw materials and turn it into stuff that can then be used for other things. There's companies that do these things. Like, so a very rudimentary example of this um, is like sometimes in the middle of a highway, which is you'll see an entire concrete mill. It's a mobile one. Okay, you can wheel that thing in. You hook it up to the back of like a tractor truck, a rig, and then you could just set it down and then unfold this thing out, and it's an entire mill. And then what it does is it's kind of like, instead of like trucks driving long ways to get concrete, they can stop at this thing right here. There's a concrete mill right there. So they have some of those. They don't use them commercially. They use them like contractors use them when they're doing like highway projects. Like, you see them all over in California when they're working on the highways. But it's the same idea. It literally is the same idea. Is how do you do it in space? That's the question. So use 3D printers to build mini satellite on way stations. This is what I mean, Johnny Blaze. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's all about how you leverage the stuff in a different place. So you have to think. Yeah, you really do have to think. Outside. Well, no, there's no box because you're in space at this point. So don't you think space? There we go. Think space. Keep it techie. What's going on, brother? How you doing, man? Welcome, Mike V. What it do, sir? What's going on, man? Welcome, Aegon. Welcome. So, yeah, man. Let me bring up this next article. Actually, here, let me do this, man, because I need to go check on my little one real quick because she's got to clock back into school. So here's what I'm gonna do, because like I said, I had some music. Well, screw it. I'm not gonna do that. I need to step away for just a quick second. So give me just a second. I need to just go make sure she's all clocked back in and everything. All right, cool. Let's see here. Oh, real quick. So the question I was gonna ask, man, because we did the black car chat yesterday with the sim racing, and like I went back and I just checked it out just to make sure like the stream from the gaming feed played well and stuff. And I was reading the comments, man, and like a ton of people, like brothers just like, man, I missed the car chats and all that. So if y'all want to do one, man, like I don't know, put a one in the chat if y'all want to do one, man. I'll schedule one for later. We can do a car chat. I miss talking about cars too. So, let a brother know, man. We'll fire one up later. All right. Um, Mike V sent this one through. He texted me this one this morning. I was like, yes, sir. So let's go into it because I got some other information I want to share with regards to this. Because I'm kind of forecasting for 2021, man, and I'm glad Mike sent this one through here because I think it's right on time. Europe's electric scooter rental startups have been ranking in the cash from investors this year, even as their American counterparts were hit hard by coronavirus pandemic. Now, we're going to see why that is, and then I'll tell you why the U.S. got hit. German operator Tier last month said it had raised $250 million in a funding round led by SoftBank. Now, if you guys don't know who SoftBank is, we've covered SoftBank a lot. They are like a Japanese tech investment firm, okay, with a business plan that extends out about 500 years, okay? SoftBank is what we should angle to be like. Right there, SoftBank. Lifting the firm's valuation close to $1 billion. It's overtaken U.S. rival Lime to become the second most valuable e-scooter company after Bird. Wow. Then Swedish firm Voi, or Voi, I'm assuming it's Voi, or, well, I'm saying Voi, but that's French, right? Voi, screw it, Voi. On Thursday said it had raised $160 million in a mix of equity and debt financing. The company didn't disclose its valuation, but it's thought to be in the hundreds of millions of dollars. U.S. players raised a lot of capital back in 2017 and 2018 at the hype peak of the industry. Mike V, if you're still in the chat, we literally have a Microtransport presentation from 2018 that we did. We first started digging into this stuff, and we had first started getting some of the technology, and we're working in it. Oh, fuck. Wow, dude. U.S. players raised a lot of capital back in 2017, 2018 at the hype peak of the industry, said Voice CEO and founder told CNBC all companies and founders were unproven in running the businesses back then. What if I always said what was the number one issue with the Microtransport firms that were started here in the U.S.? Okay, the thing about it was that it was a new industry, and so since there was no regulation, you have to basically be the first dude to get out there and just do it. That's why I kind of respected Bird's approach. They just said, you know what, we're going to just test the limits right off the bat. We're just going to dump scooters everywhere, and then we'll see how everybody reacts, and then we'll adjust accordingly, which is what they've done. That's why they are still the number one valued microtransport company in the industry. Oh, so that's why they are where they are. However, what I'm reading into this now is that these companies, what they did was they learned an awful lot, which is what I'm trying to leverage because I worked for Bird at one time. So, but yeah, see, they learned all what not to do. We now understand the business better and what's important. Collaborating with cities and winning contracts, operational efficiency, and unit economics. Okay, so there's also a 24-hour stream of the Brain Trust archives playing right now. Man, just when you're bored, throw that on in the background. Hopefully, that live stream we did plays the background and goes into all this stuff right here. Bird and Lime were the talk of Silicon Valley in 2018 when they raised sizable sums from investors at eye-popping valuations. $2 billion for Bird. But U.S. operators faltered earlier this year after the outbreak of COVID-19. Bird and Line were forced to suspend operations in several markets and laid off hundreds of employees. That's unfortunate. In May, Lime saw its valuation plummet 79% to $510 million and a $170 million legal funding deal with Uber. That's right. Uber essentially did purchase Lime. An investor in Bird, meanwhile, is reportedly looking to sell shares. Looking to sell shares in the $2.5 billion scooter sharing giant at a loss. Oh, man. You know what? I could do a whole breakdown. I could do a whole breakdown of this company. I could literally do a breakdown of Bird and why it is we have a microtransport company, and I'm like, no, I know what to do with this. Hell no, I'm not doing what they did. Damn. First mover advantage and top line revenue might command a frothy valuation for a period of time, Paul Murphy, general partner at the venture capital firm North Zone, and an investor in Tier told CNBC. But eventually, growth investors will value the underlying health of a business and how effectively they'll be able to grow. Europe outperforms the US. Okay, so now we're talking about microtransport, micromobility adoption. Venture capitalists appear to be more confident about Europe's micromobility market than that of the US micromobility. Refers to small forms of urban transport, such as electric kick scooters and bikes. PitchBook data shows investors have injected $371 million into U.S. micromobility firms since the start of the year. Damn, man, I want some of that. While European rivals raised damn near double, $687 million. Compared to the U.S. and Asia, Europe is the only region to show growth in venture capital investment in the sector so far in 2020, up around 64% from 2019 levels. I think a micro mobility, micro transport live stream is in order, like another full demo. I think that's in order, along with some full scale business modeling. Like, we got to get on the ball, man. 2020 is no joke. And even in all of this, dude, there's money just being thrown at this shit. We are seeing European e-scooter startups doing much better than their American counterparts, said Asad Hussein, mobility analyst at PitchBook. PitchBook. Maybe I should get a job with them as a mobility analyst. I know my shit. The business model of U.S. e-scooter firms is more operations heavy than European rivals, Hussein said. He added that the Europeans' relationship with regulators and government spending on bike lanes and other infrastructure makes the region a much better market for micromobility than the U.S. It's not rocket science that European cities are a much better fit for this type of product than U.S. cities. I don't know if I 100% agree. I think you're being a little biased there, Henry Moisenak, CEO and founder of Amsterdam-based e-scooter firm. Oh, okay, you're Dutch. That's why. In the U.S., they're so entrenched in the car world. I think it's a better fit for Europe. Say that holding a teacup with your pinky up. Why don't you? Then there's the coronavirus pandemic, which, though hit the scooter sharing space hard at first, it's now the catalyst for some countries accelerating adoption. I got to tell you right now, so once we get through this seasonality period, so again, we can speak more to this if we do a micro mobility live stream. If we will do one. And what we'll do is we'll break down all the key aspects of it, like, so seasonality being one of them. Like, so for example, what we don't do is, like, typically, like, this is based on studies, bike usage and things of that sort. Like, so like, you're getting on a bike or scooter. Okay, that stuff drops when the weather goes below 70 degrees. Okay, so you have to basically look at the most opportune time where you're going to get the most utilization from this stuff is during the period of time where the weather is on average above 70 to 73 degrees. If it's above that, then you're going to get a higher adoption rate than if it's below it. So that's kind of where you start. But then even post pandemic, there's a lot of usage in delivery, okay, because everything's being ordered, right? So there's so much stuff to deliver. One could actually make a lot more money using a simple mode of transportation than one that costs them a lot of money to whoa, what the hell? This just popped up. Uber sells its self-driving unit to Aurora. Whoa. Breaking. What the hell? Why is Uber selling its self-driving unit? That, holy crap. Okay, let me finish this and we're gonna check that one out. That makes no sense. I would imagine Uber is buying a self-driving unit. Why are they selling it? Okay. Okay, wait, hold on. All right. Let me get back on track. Take the UK for instance. It has been illegal to ride an e-scooter on British roads because of a law dating back to 1835. Did they have e-scooters back in 1835? But the government has fast-tracked trials ahead of new regulations to make them legal for the first time. Holy shit. Several scooter hire companies, both European and American, have won bids to take part in trials and are now hoping to win contracts in London. See, this is why I want to take the stuff to Africa. Fuck. I'm gonna need y'all help to do this, man. For real. Line bounces back. Some investors say that European e-scooter startups are a more lucrative bet than their U.S. competitors as they are leaner and have better economics. I'm lean, I have better economics, and I'm U.S. Holla at your boy. Moisenak said, Tier and Boy's recent funding rounds are a sign that European companies are doing a better job than the U.S. companies, at least in Europe. Of course, you're going to say that. You guys are European. Okay. Well, that's the end of that right there. The limes to manage profitability bounce back from. Okay, the link is down there. I mean, yeah, it's like this is a viable business. We've been harping on this, man. It's just that the first guys out the gate in the US, they kind of succumbed to the hype as the article suggested, and so when I was put it like this, okay. So the city where I live in now, the reason why I live here is because I was working for Bird, and the city where I'm in now, they decided to use the city as a test bed. Okay, they decided to use this city to test some technology, and so they sent me up here, and we launched it in the city. Okay, the thing was that this place is not like LA. Okay, it's not like mainland LA where it's LA, it's cracking, right? It's not the same. The market's completely different. The utilization of this type of stuff is different. So you have to analyze how this stuff works within the environment. And that's where a lot of the early startups didn't focus on that nuance, because when it's a new industry and you're the first, which you go for market share. So you're not going for how to tailor it to, like, what they call it, tailor it to application, right? So for each market, it's kind of unique for the market. Well, they weren't there at the time. It was really about market share, like who scooter is going to be out in all the major cities, getting the majority of the people riding it. That was the first shot out the gate. And even that article, they even say, they're like, well, the first companies back in 2018, yeah, they got a lot of money and they did a lot, but we learned a lot from their mistakes. And there you have it. That's what I did. That's why I was like, all right, well, we're gonna get our own thing going, because I already know what to do now. I know what to do and what not to do. So I can understand the Europeans' position on that, but you know. Yeah. Okay, wait. Let's cover this one. Let me see what this is right here. Uber sells its self-driving unit to Aurora. What the hell? Uber's self-driving unit, Advanced Technologies Group, is being acquired by its startup competitor, Aurora Innovation. The company's announced on Monday. Okay, Uber is selling its self-driving unit to a startup. Okay, let's read on. The deal expected to close the first quarter of 2021 values ATG at approximately $4 billion. The unit was valued at $7.25 billion in April when SoftBank, Denso, and Toyota took a stake. Wait a minute. SoftBank, Denso, and Denso is a components maker, and they basically all of their stuff is in Toyotas. Uber CEO Dara Khosrowshahi, whatever. Sorry about your name, Dara. Will join the company's board, and the ride-sharing giant will invest $400 million into. Okay, this is strategic leverage. So they sold it off, but then what they're going to do is they're going to turn around and then buy back into. Okay. Interesting. So let's see what the deal entailed. Overall, Uber and ATG investors and employees are expected to own a 40% stake in Aurora, according to regulatory filing accompanying the deal. Uber alone will hold a 20% stake. Okay, that's what they did. Makes sense. Strategic. Very shrewd. I like it. The startup is being valued at $10 billion in the transaction, according to a person familiar with the terms of the deal. The addition of ATG Aurora will have an incredibly strong team and technology, a clear path to several markets, and the resources to deliver. Chris Urmson, co-founder and CEO of Aurora, said in a statement. Simply put, Aurora will be the company best positioned to deliver the self-driving products necessary to make transportation and logistics safer, more accessible, and less expensive. Folks, what were we saying about 2021? This company's ready to put self-driving cars just out there. And like I said, Uber, that was very shrewd of you. But this is what we're looking at now. The actual deployment of this shit. So this isn't theoretical anymore, folks. Legit. This is not theoretical anymore. Like this is now like game on. Few technologies hold as much promise to improve people's lives with safe, accessible, environmentally friendly transportation as self-driving vehicles, said Uber CEO Dara in a statement. For the last 5 years, our phenomenal team at ATG has been at the forefront of this effort and joining forces with Aurora. They are now in pole position to deliver on that promise even faster. TechCrunch first reported in November that the two companies were in talks for ATG. Aurora is backed by Hyundai, Amazon, major venture firms including Greylock and Sequoia. Oh my God. Okay, so people like Hyundai, Amazon, Greylock, Sequoia, they don't put money behind companies that aren't ready to put products out in service. ATG has been a long-term player for Uber, but the unit brought high costs and safety challenges. Throughout the course of the pandemic-stricken year, Uber has made efforts to stem losses in its ride-hailing business, control business costs, including with major layoffs in the spring to grow its delivery business. That's what I mean. That was very shrewd, Uber. Right? Offset it and invest in it at the same time. Get rid of the fat. I hate to call it fat because it's basically just lost as a result of COVID. But it's how you just really just trimmed it and put it off on somebody else, but still got the interest in it. This is business 105, folks. Earlier this year, Uber stirred up controversy by transferring Jump, its electric bike sharing subsidiary, to Lime, another micromobility company in which the ride-hail giant had invested. See there? Look at that. Uber acquired Jump outright in 2018 with the stated intention of running and growing the brand independently. Yeah. Amazing. Amazing. Let's take a look. Let me see here. It'd be pretty awesome if we can get robots. Vernon, we're Engineering Canvas was talking about that yesterday. Where when you because with the advent of like thing is like 5 and 6G data connection, you're talking about using Neuralink and VR to do just that, to operate robots remotely, even in space. Johnny, you said, did you see my email? No, I haven't checked. Did you, let me check. I'll check my email, Johnny. Let's see here. Brother Xavier, peace, man. Welcome. So micro mobility is better for the South. Micro mobility is better wherever it applies. One of the things you look at in terms of micro mobility is seasonality. You're talking about the effects of weather, right? That'll largely determine how much application you can get out of it. But when you look at where you are, you can just come up with the various ways you could use things like electric bike, like small electric vehicles to do things, whether it's just take people from point A to point B or use it to deliver things. You said, yeah, Uber needs to raise capital as the market is suffering over COVID. Exactly, Mike. Yep. That's why I was like, it's shrewd, man. They basically offset that to have somebody else do it and then invest it to get the money back while like dropping the people. Very shrewd. Give me just 1 second. Okay, my apologies. I had a school, that was the school district they're calling because so we had just real quick, not to digress. So I don't know if you guys know this, California, we're essentially on lockdown again. Like literally that just happened because literally fell under 15% ICU bed capacity because of the amount of cases out here. So last week, before all this happened, we had gotten notification that the schools are going to be opening back up next month. And then the lockdown happened, and then people were like, wait, are you still going to open up schools next month? So, oh my God, dude, this shit is a mess, dude. Oh my God. Dude, this has been an interesting year. That's all I can say. That's all I can say, man. As a parent, dude, this has been an interesting year. Let's see here. They're dropping stuff to make revenue. Jordan, you said, yep, yep, yep. Uber hasn't made money. Yep, right. But see, the thing is, Jordan, like right about now, like every other tech firm, if they trim the fat in the right places, man, they can make a lot of money. They What the hell, man? I'm getting blown up, dude. Not now. Yeah. Terrence, welcome, brother. Okay, so let me see. I think I have one last article here, man. Let me pull it up here. Um, and let me see. I guess you guys don't want me to do a car chat. No one put a one, so that's cool. Okay. Maybe another time. Now I still have music playing in the background, like in my headphones. So I'm thinking that you guys can hear it. So I'm thinking like, oh, well, it's not really that much dead space, airspace because dead air because there's music playing. But you guys said no music, so okay. All right, so I'm trying to remember not to have dead air. All right, so first and foremost, man, you know what? I don't care if you guys didn't put one in the chat for if you want a car chat or not. I'm gonna do another one because we got to do one to congratulate this dude right here. Okay, 7-time world champion, greatest of all time. Okay, that's him right there, Lewis Hamilton, F1 champion Lewis Hamilton, starting an Extreme E racing team. Now I don't know if you guys know about this. What Extreme E is? Okay, it's basically a new electric racing series, right? Where basically it's an electric vehicle that, and the whole point of it, the whole point of it is it can pretty much race in any environment. Like any environment, it can race in that environment. Or the snow, it's almost like it's like kind of like rally in a sense, right? But this is in a more treacherous environment, and the whole entire series is operated from a shipping vessel, right? That they've converted into a mobile race shop to work on these things, and that's what they do. These cars are just docked on the ship. There's a shop on the ship. They do all the building, do whatever, and then what they do is the ship takes everything to the race location, and then they just basically unload right there and race. So it's dope, man. This Extreme E stuff is crazy. It says 6-time, but actually now it's 7-time. 7-time Formula One champion Lewis Hamilton, an outspoken campaigner for the environment and sustainability, is entering his own team in a new Extreme E electric off-road series highlighting climate change. The first race is scheduled for early 2021, and Hamilton's team will be X44, referring to the Mercedes driver's racing number. The Briton, who will not be driving or involved in day-to-day operations, is the biggest name to link up with the series that includes U.S.-based Andretti United and Chip Ganassi racing teams, both of which compete in IndyCar. The electric car company Fisker has also announced plans to participate in the electric off-road series. However, I think I heard recently Fisker just officially went belly up. I'm not 100% sure on that. I need to check and see, but I heard something about Fisker in the news recently. Extreme E is an exciting new sustainability initiative, and this is a great opportunity to be involved from the outset, as team founder Hamilton said in a statement. Of course, my ambitions and commitments with Mercedes and Formula One mean that I won't be operationally involved in X44, but I'm excited to play a different role in this series, one that brings my vision for a more sustainable and equal world to life. Hamilton, a vegan, said last year he was trying to reduce his carbon footprint by selling his private jet and banning single-use plastic from home and office, among other measures. Yeah, he got rid of his private jet because he said he just thought it was wasteful, and people like shit on him over it. It's like, dude, what the hell, man? You can't do nothing good. You can't do nothing right. He also said that he had no interest in switching to an all-electric Formula E series. Everybody wants him to go to a Formula E after Formula One. Extreme E races, held without spectators but to be broadcast live on TV and social media, will be held in some of the most remote and harsh environments the world has to offer. including Brazilian rainforests, Greenland, Saudi Arabian deserts, and mountains of Nepal. Like I said, this is like some Mad Max beyond Thunderdome type racing. The locations are either already damaged or severely under threat from a range of issues such as rising sea levels or deforestation. Teams will race electric SUVs with the same chassis called an Odyssey 21. They will all feature the same Williams produced batteries. So Williams is the F1 team. Yeah, they did the electronic, like all of the drive system. That was Williams. Williams produced batteries, but the teams will be able to supply unique motors. Oh, okay. So they're Williams is just doing the batteries. Okay. Uh, Unique motors and power inverters. Okay, so that's what it is. The teams can use their own motors and inverters, but Williams is doing the batteries for everybody. Some minor body changes will be allowed to. Oh, okay. So, oh, I didn't know they were going to be doing all that. Each team will have two drivers, one man and one woman. I'm sorry. I just had a joke pop in my head. Give me a second. Okay. All right. The series will also use a former mail ship. There we go. The series will use a former mail ship as a floating paddock and transporter between locations and oceanographic research. That's what I mean, dude. Like they're gonna basically run this series off of a boat. So they dock the ship, take the cars off, and then go race them. And then after they're done, they put it back on the boat and then they go to the next place. Like us, Lewis is hugely passionate about motorsport, but also shares our belief that we can use sport to highlight subjects which are vital to the world, such as climate change and equality. Said series founder Alejandro Agag. Agag left his position as the head of Formula E to helm Extreme E. Yeah, that's right. That's where he come. That's where he came from. He built up Formula. This is the same guy who built Formula E right here. This dude, he's dope, man. He is a visionary. This dude is dope because he built Formula E into what it is now. Both of which will be affiliated with the FIA sanctioning body. That's it right there. Hold on, let me see if I can. Yeah, that's it right there. But do they race to get my DoorDash? Ha. Let's see here. Well, let's hope that's the case, Mike. That's what they're touting, is that once they start doing these first rounds of vaccines and stuff, and then they start opening businesses back up, and then economy's supposed to bounce back, and then so let's hope that that's what the move is. I mean, either way, what I'm seeing is, so for example, oh, I got sidetracked by that Uber article, but the one thing that I saw um, is like, so for example, there was a video that popped in my feed from a week ago on CNBC talking about the COVID-19 bike boom. Okay, how COVID-19 just spurred on a bike boom, right? So now, like, I have a friend who has like a bike shop in town, and the only bikes that are in stock right now are the super expensive stuff. The stuff that's affordable, everybody's bought it all, right? And he's telling me how it's hard to get components and all this kind of stuff because now we've got like supply chains that have been interrupted. So um I can see it just being big in 21 altogether because of the ability to be able to maximize on things like deliveries and stuff like that. But I also agree with you that if things can kind of go back to normal in terms of like public interaction and people doing things in public and out in the open, then if well, the other part is, dude, people got to go back to work because, well, okay, so in order, this all goes back to like, okay, what are you doing for the people, right? Are you providing them a stimulus to get through this, to get to that point, to get to the point where businesses open back up, and right, because a lot of people's businesses have shuttered, and we'll see. We'll just kind of see how it is. But I would say that like as soon as you have lockdowns that are no longer existent and people can kind of get out and move freely and do things, then I would imagine that yes, we will see some economic spur in economic activity. Absolutely. So private jet rideshare be the new market since Miller asked people won't fly regular commercial flights over. Mike, I'm waiting for that Uber service to pop off. Remember the drone service? They were supposed to be testing it out here in LA, the Uber drone service. Remember, they were supposed to be launching that. I think maybe COVID probably threw a monkey wrench in that, but shoot. Yeah. So that was supposed to pop off. Uber was supposed to be testing that this year in 2020. But like I said, I think just COVID just put a monkey wrench in so much stuff. I would think maybe 2022, maybe 2020, maybe sometime in 2021 later. 2022 for sure. I think I'm with engineering cannabis. 2021 is going to be a lot of AI rollout, like in your face AI rollout, like the self-driving car, for example. Uber just sold that self-driving unit off. It's in service in Korea. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. I see 2021, man, just ramping up, dude. Like it's gonna be, um, we're gonna really see it, man. It's it's not theoretical. It's not. It was never even theoretical. The last couple of years we've been talking about it. It's just that it was only for people in the know, but now it's gonna be in your face. That's why so much of what we talked about, man, it's like I don't even want to say we're vindicated. It's just a fact of the matter now. James, that's a really good question. How much of the middle class will be left after this year? Because you're just gonna see this shit accelerate, man. So I don't know if we're still arguing over, you know, whether something like sapiosexualism really exists or not, then I would say that you're probably gonna be part of that class that gets left. Right? If your mind ain't right at this particular stage in time, man, 2021, man, look, all I'm gonna say is the brain trust tried to hip y'all. Well, I don't want to say try. We trying. We still doing it. We back at it, man. We officially live again. So, but oh no. Yeah, I mean, well, we went quiet for just I don't know, just a little while, man. We just retooling on the back end, man, and just look how everybody just in short amount of time seemingly lost their damn minds, man. I'm not gonna get into that shit too much, man. Here's what I'm gonna do though. We don't reach the hour and a half. I kind of went through the articles here, man. Felt good to really get back on the space and tech shit. I guess people got to just check the notifications. I'm not sure if people are getting a lot of the I'm not sure. We only got 10 people watching. Usually we'd have maybe like 25, 30 when we do the space and tech. Yeah. So, but okay. I'm gonna go ahead and shut this one down. Yeah, I guess no one really responded on like doing like a card chat or whatever. So, um, I might do a Sapio live stream on here. It'll be like later, a little bit later. I'm gonna, like I said, man, we're gonna really keep the themes that we first started introducing here. It started here. Even the Sapio stuff, man, it started here. It didn't start on my channel. It started here. So, um, absolutely, Jordan, you can. Matter of fact, dude, if you check the community tab, check. There's a post in there where we have an article submission form. So, like, if you have something you want to suggest, dude, like if it's like an article, like a video, like a YouTube video, a link or something that you came across, just hit that link, hit the submission tab, and then you just put the link in there, and then just put your name, and then put like what category it goes in, and it'll just come to us. And then I'll put it in a docket, and then we just talk about it, and then I'll just credit like oh yeah, this came from so and so, this came from so and so, you know. Yeah. So just check the community tab, man, and then look at the post, the article submission post, and there's a link there. Yeah, I appreciate you, man, for just contributing, wanting to suggest topics, man. Yeah, absolutely. All right. So yeah, man, I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down now, and then yeah, maybe we'll just fire something up for a little bit later on this afternoon. All right, folks, you guys have a good one. Don't forget to hit the like button on your way out. Yeah, for sure, Jordan. Just hit that link on the community tab on the Black Brain Trust YouTube page, and then go to the community, and then there's like I just did a post on the community tab maybe like yesterday or this morning. So check the post beneath that one, and that's the one right there. Okay, so yeah, man, just hit like on your way out, man. Share it if you feel compelled to. Tell a friend. Make sure the little bell is on though, because yeah, YouTube.